Give every young person in this country a chance to go to college. Raise the Pell Grants every year. Raise the tax credit to $3,500. Crack down on the student loan abuses and limit what young people can be required to pay back. And let every college graduate in this country that decides to become a teacher or a nurse or a mental health worker or a policeman or a fireman or a doctor who goes out into a rural area or into an inner city clinic have the service itself repay the loan. Every year you serve, you knock some of that loan off. The solutions business, that's what this country's about. Everybody's worried about avoiding recession. Most Americans think they're in one because they're flat broke at the end of every month. It's not hard to figure out why. In the 90s, yeah, but let's do it by the numbers instead of the names. In the 90s, we had 22.7 million new jobs. In this decade, 5 million. In the 90s, we had almost 8 million people working themselves from poverty up into the middle class. 100 times as many as did so in the Reagan recovery. In this decade, 5 million people have fallen from the middle class back into poverty. Income then went up $6,000 a family. Now it's declined $6,000 a family while the cost of everything has exploded. This is not rocket science. And you know why we're in this fix? Because we have not done the only thing a rich country can do to create jobs in every rural area, every small town, every suburb, and every big city. Make a commitment to a clean, independent energy future. Fight global warming, improve our national security, and create jobs for college graduates and high school dropouts. Her energy program will revolutionize America, save the planet for our kids, create millions of jobs, and spread prosperity across America. If you want that future, go out and tell people and elect her president. If I had never been married to Hillary, but I had known her all these long years, if I had seen her in law school take an extra year to fight for abused and neglected children until we got standards across this country that protected kids from child abuse, if I had known her as a young law graduate, giving up the big bucks and the fancy firms and going to work for the Children's Defense Fund and knocking on the doors of poor people's houses to find out how come their kids were dropping out of school, and finding out they were leaving because they had mental or physical disabilities, usually very minor ones, at a time when our schools could not even educate someone who had a minor dyslexic condition. And I saw her and her young friends file a report with the Congress which became the basis of the sweeping special education law that now requires an equal and appropriate public education to all of our children. And the doors she knocked on, I might add, were in New Bedford, Massachusetts, which is one reason she beat the entire political establishment in Massachusetts and won a huge victory there. If I had seen her handle education reform, rural health reform, start America's first rural development bank in Arkansas, I would know why she won 70% of the vote in the Arkansas primary, because they saw her make other people's lives better. And that's what you hire a president to do, to have good things happen and stop bad things from happening for the American people, so we can go forward together in the future. I watched her in the White House when we got beat on health care, go back to work and pass that children's health insurance program, which insured 6 million kids, the biggest expansion of health care since Medicare, including 400,000 kids in Texas tonight that have health insurance because of the work that she did. She's always been making changes in other people's lives. All the experts were dancing on her grave until the debate in New Hampshire, when one defining question was asked. It's the same question every voter in Texas has to ask and answer. They said, oh, she can't come back from this. She's 13 points behind. There's only 2 days left in the election. And then this wonderful, polite man from New Hampshire looked at the candidates and asked a simple question. Tell me something you've done in your public life that benefited other people. And one candidate mentioned the Patients' Bill of Rights, which we both strongly support, but it didn't become law. And the other mentioned the lobbying bill, which she voted for and strongly supported, that says that lobbyists can't take congressmen to lunch anymore unless they're standing up. And Hillary said, well, when I was in the White House, I worked on the Children's Health Insurance Program, and when I was in the Senate on the Armed Services Committee with a Republican co-sponsor, I sponsored a bill that said if our National Guardsmen and reservists from Texas are sent overseas and get hurt when they come home, they have exactly the same health benefits regular military personnel do for life. And the ground moved in New Hampshire because people said, oh my goodness, that's what we hire a president to do, to change other people's lives. We all feel better when we're doing better, and we're doing it together and going forward together. That's what you have to talk to people about. I can tell you, ask yourself tonight, let me just start with one other thing. Do I think it'd be a great thing to have the first woman president? Sure it would. Will it make the spirit of Ann Richards smile? Yes. I think so, because I was born to a widowed mother who got up before dawn every day of my childhood to go to work so I could have a better life. So I think so. And we raised our daughter to believe she could do or be anything she wanted to be. And what she wants to do now is travel the country trying to make her mama president. I like that. But look, I think it'll be a great thing for America when we have the first African-American president. Our politics was born in the Civil Rights Movement, Hillary's and mine. I think it'll be great when we have the first Hispanic president. I think it'll be great when we have the first Native American president. We have the first Asian president. When we have the first president of any religion that has not yet been represented in the White House. Because we are an idea, not a set of categories. So it's all going to be good. But what we have to do today, with all these economic problems at home, with the war in Iraq to end, with half the world mad at us, is to elect the best president. So here's what I want you to do. Whenever you get in an argument with somebody about this, and I want you to have a bunch of them between now and Election Day, and they say, why are you for Hillary? You ask them, how do you define the success of the next president? And they will probably say, we want to be excited. We want to be inspired. And you should say this. Well, here's Hillary's definition. Here's how she'll know if she was a good president or not. Are the American people better off when I quit than when I started? 1. 2, do our children and grandchildren have a brighter future? And 3, is this country in this crazy, wonderful, complicated, interdependent world coming together instead of being torn apart? If you want the answers to those questions to be yes, you do everything you can between now and Election Day. You will never be sorry. She will be a great, great president. Thank you, and God bless you all. Thank you.
At the opening of her wife, Senator Hillary